Hello again, and thank you for joining us. My name is Charlie Joyce, and I'm happy to welcome you to the Providence College Podcast. Our producer is Chris Judge of the class of 2005. We are joined today by two guests from the women's ice hockey team, head coach Matt Kelly and goaltender Clare Minnerath of the class of 2020. Coach Kelly led the Friars to a 24-11-2 record this past season in his first season at the helm. He came to PC last year after 4 years as a head scout with USA Hockey and the women's national team, helping the U.S. capture the gold medal in the 2018 Olympics in South Korea. Prior to joining USA Hockey, Kelly was an assistant women's hockey coach for 6 years at Clarkson University, where he helped guide the team to 6 consecutive ECAC playoff appearances and the national championship in 2014. A native of Walpole, Massachusetts, he played hockey as a goaltender at Wayne State University. He was a captain and earned All-College Hockey America second-team honors as a senior. And Clare Minnerath has played 3 seasons as a goaltender for the Friars, a math and computer science major at PC. She grew up in Sartell, Minnesota, where she was a 3-sport standout in high school, competing in hockey, soccer, and lacrosse. Welcome to the Providence Podcast, Clare and Coach.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
What a first year for you in the team, Coach. 24 wins. I think it was 16-9-2 in the conference for a 4th place finish. You advanced to the semifinals of the conference tournament, and you nearly stunned Northeastern in the top seed in the semifinals. Was that something that you anticipated, that kind of success?
You know, we matched up really well against them all year. Excuse me. So we were really confident going into that game. We've lost the couple weeks prior to that. We beat them I believe it was 5-2 down at their building. And then the night before they beat us here, but it was a close game. And then the previous 2 games we had before them as well, we played them really tough. So we knew we could get up and down the ice with them, even though they were a strong team and they're a super talented team. And but like I said, we felt confident.
September to March is such a long season. Can you kind of recap, and you know it well, obviously, can you kind of recap for us the season highlights from a team/player development and a competitive standpoint?
Yeah, you're right. It's a long season. It's kind of a marathon, and then it turns into a sprint really quick once the season ends. So, but I think coming in, we just tried. We talked a lot about just having a beginner's mindset. Every day we come to the rink, make sure we have good energy and a beginner's mindset. Willing to learn new things. Obviously, we assumed we might be doing some things differently from previous staffs and stuff like that. So we just wanted everyone to kind of, just focus and listen and try growing as much as possible, early on and adapting to what we were trying to do. And kudos to the kids. The kids were awesome. They were super receptive. Like I said, everyone showed up every day with that positive energy and wanting to learn. And I give credit to Jake and Allie. They're on the ice a lot too in the mornings, doing skill development and goalie practices and all that. So they were helping out a ton as well, getting everyone up to speed and kind of how we wanted to play and what we wanted to accomplish. But and then obviously as the season started, just kind of I think getting on a good roll early on, getting a couple wins under our belt, like starting off with Bemidji, who's a very good WCHA team, and they play tough. They're big, they're strong. And having them come into our building and play them right out of the gates, was a great challenge for us. We obviously won Friday night, and then going into Saturday, we fell into a 3-0 hole, and it was great to see the resilience in our group and keep fighting back. And I look back at that first weekend because I thought it kind of set the tone on who we wanted to be moving forward. Like, it didn't matter how far our backs were pushed against the wall or if we were pushed into a corner or anything like that. Like, I had a really good feeling that this group was going to keep fighting all the way to the end. And like I said, I thought that jump started us really good. And then we got on a pretty good roll there going into November. I think we were undefeated in November as well, and that was a huge month. Obviously, Maddie Myers and Maureen Murphy. Maddie was goaltender, national goalie of the month. Maureen was national player of the month. So that was a great month that kind of set us into the national rankings and a little bit into the spotlight there. And we weren't sneaking up on anyone anymore at that point, right? So, and then we finished the first half great. 15-3. Obviously, we we played a bunch of quality games and had some quality wins. And then obviously, kind of keep talking about this marathon season. You get into January right after break, and we probably weren't as sharp as we were the first semester. We kind of took our bumps and bruises a little bit in January, but it's expected. It's we played on such a high level for so long. Like, everyone's bound a little dip at some point in their season, and that was just our dip. And I thought our kids did a great job of just kind of keep battling, staying positive, keep showing up, keep wanting to get better, and eventually we found our way out of that. And once it turned to February, then we started making a really good push towards the end of the season, which was great to see, because that's what you want. You want to be playing your best hockey at the right time of year, and I thought we did that. Unfortunately, we lost in the semis there to Northeastern, but I can look back on that and say that was probably our best game of the year collectively that we played. We did a lot of really good things, and that's just how life goes sometimes, right? Sometimes you end on the winning side, sometimes you end on the losing side, and that day we put everything out there that we had, and unfortunately we ended up on the wrong side of it. But I thought it was great growing pains for our group, and moving forward, I'm excited about this group and what they can accomplish.
Claire, this was your third season as a Friar. What did you think about the season? Was it a surprise to you how well the team did?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say it was a surprise. Looking back, I think we're all really happy with how it went. It had its ups and downs, of course, as any season does. But for the most part, we're really happy with how it went. Being a transitioning year with new coaches and stuff, a lot of times that can be challenging. So going in, you kind of are a little nervous with expectations and whatnot. But between the leadership our seniors provided and the energy and the knowledge our coaches came in with, it really made that transition really smooth, and we could just focus on hockey. And so in that respect, it wasn't a surprise that we had the successes that we did. Of course, looking into playoffs, we were hoping to go farther and whatnot, but we did, looking back, we haven't been at this place in many years. We had more wins than we usually have. We got past the quarterfinals, which I haven't done since I've been here, so I know that was really cool for our seniors and upperclassmen.
One of the strengths of the team, it seemed to be this year, Coach, was defense. I believe you only allowed 70 goals in 37 games, which is obviously, if I do my math correctly, it's less than 2 goals a game. That's pretty strong. Would you call yourself kind of a defensive-oriented coach? And what's your coaching philosophy, maybe in general?
Yeah. I wouldn't consider myself a defensive coach. I'm probably a little bit of a mixture, and you might be able to add more to that on what you guys think, but I think I'm a little bit of both. Obviously, being with the teams at Clarkson that we had up there and winning the national championship, we were always very stingent on the defensive side, and it's something that it can go a long way, especially down the stretch in playoff hockey. Like, you got to be strong defensively, and we were making points on that. Kind of through January, Claire, like when we were going through a little bit of those lumps at times, we kind of just said, stay with the process. We worked a ton on D-zone during that time frame, knowing that down the stretch that this is really going to help us. And it did. As we started playing, getting out of that little slump or whatever you want to call it, I thought it was because defensively we started getting really locked in and shutting teams down. And when we're able to do that and transition out of our zone quick, then we're able to play offense, which I love playing offense. I was a goalie, but to me, like I love playing the offensive zone too, because that's the best defense too. When the puck's 200 feet from your zone and you can keep it down there for a long time, it's going to take someone a lot of work and a lot of effort to get down in your zone to score on you. But I think we're a good balance as a whole. And again, defense is a team thing, and you got to buy in. And I thought everyone bought into that. Being locked down in our defensive zone, and from an offensive standpoint, obviously we like to keep the puck a lot. We'd like to keep the puck, we'd like to move the puck, and I thought our kids did a great job of doing that down the stretch, and kind of all year long. We kind of forced them to keep moving the puck, and we did a ton of puck movement drills and the warm-ups and stuff like that, and I thought it started paying off down the stretch, and it was fun to kind of see it all come together as we went through this journey from September all the way to March.
It sounded like you had a pretty unified group, and obviously this was a new, situation for you. Was that difficult in terms of chemistry?
No, I thought it was awesome coming in. Sometimes I know how maybe the players didn't know what to expect, maybe with 3 new coaches coming in, and us coaches were the same. We didn't really know what to expect either, but Claire made mention to it in the previous question, is our senior leadership group was phenomenal. Like they held everyone together, and I think obviously guided them through the summer, through some of those challenges before the staff was named and all that. And when we were able to get here, like I said, the team chemistry was awesome. Everyone was on board, and we were able to just hit the ground running and focus on hockey. Like we didn't need to really worry about how we're going to build chemistry and how we're going to, make this thing work. It was already in place, and that's awesome. When we can have a group like that that's so unified, and I can't say enough about our senior leadership group and even just our leadership group in general as well. They did an incredible job this year, and obviously the seniors, they put a lot of hard work in over the 4 years, and I think they knew to get to that next step with this program how unified they really needed to be, and they really took ownership of that and really guided this year.
You worked at a really high level, really a premier level of women's hockey the last 4 years. What were your primary responsibilities with USA Hockey and the women's team? And I think you had involvement with other teams at USA Hockey, did you not?
I did. Yeah. My main purpose was head scout for our women's national team, but obviously secondary duties, I was kind of in charge of overseeing our player pool at the 15, 16, 17 levels, age levels, and then obviously overseeing our U18 team as well, and the selection of those players, as well as our under 22 team in that process, helped overseeing that. But yeah, on the road a lot, seeing a lot of hockey, scouting a lot of the age levels, but it was fun. It was a great experience, and I learned a ton from it, and the people that I was surrounded with were top-notch people in the hockey world, and I learned a ton from. So those 4 years were great 4 years of my life.
And does that kind of level of involvement translate into your approach when you switched back to coaching this past year? Any kind of benefits do you feel that you took from that experience with you?
Yeah, for sure. I think wherever I've been along this journey, my coaching career, I've taken something from everyone I've been able to rub elbows with. From my playing days to starting out as a undergrad assistant at Wayne State when I first got involved, my year at Quinnipiac, my years at Clarkson, and then obviously my 4 years at USA Hockey. I've been able to surround myself with some great hockey minds and some great hockey people. So I think from each one of those steps along my journey, I was able to take a lot. And then, like I said, worked for USA Hockey, and my previous boss, Reagan Carey there, she was a really good manager, a really great leader, and she obviously was. I look back on those experiences and some of those meetings we've had, and she guided a ship really well, and like I said, was just a great leader.
In terms of PC's tradition, did that have any kind of a bearing on your decision to come here and accept the position?
It didn't hurt, put it that way. Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely a great reputation. Has a long history of great players coming through here, both on the men's side and women's side. Some great talent. Obviously, that '98 team had a bunch of Lady Friars on the team as well, and but it's always had a close place in my heart. So I grew up in Walpole there, and my dad was actually a PC grad. He graduated in '77. So when most kids were, maybe their dads were taking them to BC BU games, living up that way, he would always kind of funnel us down here to Schneider and watch PC games. So obviously it was always close to my family's hearts, and that probably played more of a factor in kind of this job and how fun that would be, coaching at my dad's alma mater, and experiencing that as well. And I've seen how much he loves PC and how much, like I said, how close it is to his heart. So it's been a cool ride, cool journey this year.
Was it difficult to come back, or did you really want to feel an itch, I'll say, for coaching?
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things. It's funny, like when you're in the scouting was great. I really was able to hone my skills on that, and was an area that I was kind of primarily in charge of at Clarkson, was the recruiting aspect. So it was an easy transition from Clarkson into USA Hockey, knowing that player pool so well. But a coach was always in my blood. I love being in the trenches with the team and going through those struggles and helping young athletes, maybe get over some struggles or, help them out in any ways we can in life. And it's cool just to see, the kids you coach grow up and do great things with their life. And I've always appreciate that part of the game. As much as, we're here coaching and trying to win championships, it's about the kids. It's about helping them, learn the values that are going to help them later in life as well.
Clare, now you were in 12 varsity letters in 3 sports in high school. When it came time to think about college, why did you choose hockey in particular, and was it really kind of a difficult choice for you, as you recall?
Well, I really loved soccer and hockey, and it could have been a difficult choice, but despite my skills in soccer, I really was more fit for a Division I level style, able to play for hockey. So I think around, 4th or 5th grade, I was like, that's my goal. I want to play Division I hockey, despite really enjoying being in all my sports.
And how about PC? What made you pull the plug on PC, or decide, I should say, to come to PC?
Yeah, well, I was just looking for a smaller school. I kind of thought that personal feel was good. And then, I care about academics, so this place excels academically. And so when it fit those 2 categories, and then you come out and visit, and the campus is gorgeous, and then there's Schneider Arena, just a gorgeous facility with a nice training place right on campus for you to utilize whenever. I mean, it's kind of hard to compete with.
And I wanted to ask you about the demands of being a student athlete. As I mentioned, you're a math and computer science major. You won the academic award for the team last year. Do you find it difficult to juggle the full-time responsibilities of academics and athletics?
I'm not going to lie, no one would tell you. Not even the people in the easiest majors would tell you being a student athlete isn't busy. You're always running between different things and doing things. And as much as your coaches and professors might, deny it, they do sometimes forget you have 5 or 6 other things that you're balancing. And so sometimes you can get a little in over your head. But of course, you have your captains, you have a ton of resources, and just communicating between all those people can make the world of a difference. And then you stay on track with both and keep the challenges to a minimum, I guess.
So time management, I guess, is utmost in your mind. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's pretty important.
Yeah, I would imagine. You've also had some health challenges and battling cancer during your time here at PC. However, I've heard you've missed very little ice time as a result of that, and your teammates have been really understanding and sensitive. Talk to us a little bit about the support you've received from the team and maybe elsewhere, Clare.
Yeah, well, when I was diagnosed, the support really came from everywhere, and it was pretty amazing. But your team really gets it the most, because for me, diagnosed it didn't just mean I wanted to get through cancer, it meant I wanted to get back to playing hockey, and they understood that. And so that was really big, and they understood that through the summer, and then coming into this year with getting strength back, getting better on the ice, and all those things. And so their support was really big all the way through, and it really meant a lot.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm not really surprised here in Friartown, that's for sure. Coach, you've got a lot of momentum to build on for next year. What would be your short-term and long-term goals for the program?
Good question. Obviously, long-term, it's always competing at the national level and winning a national championship. If that's my main goal every year after the end of the year. What do we got to do next year to get to that point? So that's my goal all the time. And if it wasn't, I shouldn't be coaching. That's the drive in me, and that's a drive I want our team to have as well every year. And I think short term is I think we proved this year that we can compete at that level. We can compete with those top teams, and I thought we played our best hockey against the top teams this year. So I think just knowing that we can do that and we can accomplish that is a big short-term goal. But short-term goal is, to me, is we got to make sure we start where we left off. Make sure we're not having any dips or anything like that. Like, make sure we keep the train rolling in the right direction. And we ended on a high. Obviously, the loss wasn't great, but the way we were playing was a high. So I want to continue with that and with that momentum. And like, again, it's a new season next year. You never know what's going to happen. It's going to be different challenges maybe than this year, and different hurdles, different obstacles, and that's what's great about coaching. It's always adapt and adjust. Finding ways to adapt, adjust, and keep moving on.
Coach and Clare, thanks so much for being our guest today, and best of luck to the Friars in the future.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
And thanks to you, our listeners, for joining us on the Providence College podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast in all the usual places: iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify. If you like what you hear, please share it with others. We also encourage feedback at podcasts@providence.edu. Thanks again to our producer, Chris Judge. I'm Charlie Joyce. Until next time.